of the 4 teams that were in the Northern Ohio League when it started in 1944 and when it ended in 2016. And they had some epic battles over the years on the hardwood. They renew that rivalry tonight here. It is Shelby at Willard coming up next.
Here we go now.
Here we go now. Here we go now.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Kasasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, he just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Kasasa.
Hi, I'm Dr. Chris Ebert. This is my son, Dr. Cam Ebert. We are Ebert Dental Group in Willard, Ohio.
Here at Ebert Dental Group, we offer a wide variety of services. Restorative dentistry, dental implants, root canal therapy, Invisalign, teeth whitening, cosmetic dentistry, denturals and partial dentures, Botox, and much, much more.
We're currently accepting new patients, and we would love to see you here at Ebert Dental Group.
The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Robert Haas Gymnasium at Willard High School. I am Brian Harder along with Greg Collins, and this is a matchup that when we looked at our schedule before the season started, I kind of circled this one because back in the day, this was one of the more heated rivalries when you look at conference play. Shelby taking on Willard in the NOL. Willard, of course, dominated the NOL for quite some time for a period of about 20, 25 years. They won 25 championships. Shelby, they had their moments in the sun. They had 10 conference championships, but when these two schools played each other, it was usually pretty hot and pretty contested.
Right. Both teams have had, both programs have had some great players, but you're right. Willard dominated the NOL with Coach Haas. Thus, the gym is named after him, or at least the floor is named after him. But Bellevue and Shelby were probably second. And Shelby has some outstanding teams. They've had some outstanding players come through. And because of the proximity of the two schools, it means a lot to both communities.
Both teams have been playing well as of late. Shelby is 7-1 overall. They're 4-1 in the Mid-Ohio Athletic Conference. Willard is 5-2. They are 2-1 in the Bay Division of the Sandusky Bay Conference. The Sandusky Bay Conference was formed basically with the leftovers of the NOL after it disbanded back in 2016. Shelby, they participated in the Mount Vernon Nazarene University Holiday Classic and defeated Granville 64-56 in overtime. Andre Hill and Alex Bruscotter scored 26 and 23 respectively in that win. And Shelby, they sprinted out of the gate red hot to start the season with 6 straight wins before they lost their first game, a 59-48 loss at River Valley. And I think that loss may have woke them up. They're a team that relies a lot on the perimeter shot, and they're a team that when they get hot, they are a tough team to guard, especially in the outside.
Well, you know, they're a good three-point shooting team. Willard's a good three-point shooting team. I wouldn't put either of them as great when you look at the statistics. But one thing Shelby does, inside the three-point line, they're amazing. They're shooting over 60% from inside the line, which tells me they're doing a lot of breakaways. They're getting a lot of, whether it's second chance points, transition points, they're getting a lot of points at the basket.
Had a conversation earlier today with Greg Galloway, the head coach, in his first season as the head coach of the Whippets. Now, he was on the Shelby football coaching staff for 2 seasons while he was an assistant basketball coach with Jason Hess over at Ashland.
Right.
So that really helped him with his relationships with these players, and he told me that kind of eased that transition.
And we had Greg, when I was coaching up at Ashland, Greg was a walk-on for us, and as you mentioned, he also was a kicker for the football program there. Greg is such a hard worker. If he can get his team, and this is our first look at him this year, if he can get his team to play as hard with as much effort, intensity, as that young man showed every practice for us up at Ashland, they're going to continue with the wins.
Now the keys for Shelby, if they want to get a win tonight, he recognizes on the perimeter, and he says we have to guard the three-point line.
Well, you're talking about 2 players. 2 players, Trey Paxton, Max Dawson, that are both over 18 points a game. Both can shoot the ball well. I had a chance to talk to Coach Haas before the game. He made the comment, when they are shooting well, they're a dynamite basketball team. As a team, they're shooting less than 30% from the 3. That's not great. Those guys are going to have to shoot it well tonight.
Now, on the other side, Willard split their first 4 games this season, but they won their last 3 in a row, getting wins over Oak Harbor, Edison, and Cary, and they're a team that, as of late, they are playing very well. We're going to pause now for the playing and singing of our national anthem. Gymnasium at Willard High School, where the Willard Crimson Flashes are getting ready to host the Shelby Whippets. We're talking about the Willard Crimson Flashes and the keys for them for tonight's game. We've talked about defensively that Shelby wants to guard the perimeter, and if you're Joe Bedingfield, you want to make sure that you're just taking advantage of that offensive firepower that you have on the outside.
Well, those guys have to shoot the ball again well tonight, I think, to be in the basketball game. But second, they're going to have to defend the paint. Shelby does such a great job of scoring inside the arc. Now, we have not seen them yet this year, but we have seen enough basketball to know that the mid-range shot is long gone in basketball, it seems like. It's either a three or it's at the basket. And right now, Shelby is shooting 61% from inside the arc, which tells me they're doing a tremendous job getting the ball to the basket, I'm sure through transition, through dribble penetration, maybe even second shot opportunities.
As we take a look at the starting lineups, first of all, for the Shelby Whippets, under the direction of first-year head coach Greg Galloway, the starting backcourt, Andre Hill, a 6-foot senior. He leads the MOAC in assists and steals. Sophomore Alex Bruscotter leads the MOAC in scoring at 20 points a game for the 6'6 sophomore. He also pulls down about 7 boards per night. The starting forwards, Marshall Shepard, a 6'2 senior, averages almost 10 points a game. Isaiah Ramsey, a 6'2 sophomore. He averages almost 7 points per game. And the other starting forward, Jeremy Holloway, a 6'5 senior, leads the MOAC in block shots at 13 points, or block shots, per game. For the Willard Crimson Flashes, under the direction of head coach Joe Benningfield, Trey Paxton and Max Dawson, they're a lot of the offense for the Willard Crimson Flashes. 18.9 points per game for Paxton, 18.4 for Dawson. Dawson, only a sophomore. Cam Robinson, a 6-foot sophomore. Aiden Sloan, a 6'2 sophomore. You sense a pattern there. A very young starting lineup for Willard. Cole Weiss rounds out the starting five, the 6'4 senior, at 6 points and 7 rebounds per game for the Willard Crimson Flashes. I'm excited to see this backcourt. I've heard a lot of talk about the guard play. And in fact, Greg Galloway told me these might be the two best guards that they will see all season.
Well, yeah, they obviously average a lot of points. They're, I think those two are about 60% of their scoring. Shelby, obviously you have to defend the three-point shot, but neither team is lighting anything up from the three-point line. Both those guys are shooters, but they're shooting around 31%. So it's not like they're dead-eye shooters. They might have some games where they shoot it well, but then they must have some games where they don't shoot it well.
Now, we had the opportunity to see Shelby as they were making their postseason run last year.
Right.
And I remember a freshman, Alex Bruscotter, who showed some glimpses of being good. I did not see him as a 20-point-per-game guy his sophomore season.
Well, and how about a guy that's already been offered a full ride from Ashland University? So they obviously see something. But I remember him last year. Of course, Shelby had a couple of very good players in Lance and Pugh. And I remember Bruckhalter would just stand in the corner, wait for Pugh to penetrate, draw players, kick it out, and at 6'5", not a bad shooter himself.
Galloway told me he felt that getting this job, the cupboard wasn't bare. He knew that they were going to have a lot of players that could help. Their roles were just going to be a little bit different.
Well, what amazes me, Brian, half the starting lineup tonight, 5 out of the 10, are sophomores. That bodes well for the future for both these programs, and that's just amazing. I've always felt that your really good teams are going to be old teams when you're playing with juniors and especially seniors. But these teams are very good, obviously, playing with sophomores.
The opening tip, and we're underway. It is controlled by the Crimson Flash, or Shelby, Shelby in their traveling gray jerseys. First shot in the air, a misfire from the outside by Marshall Shepard, and Willard in transition.
And here's our first look at the perimeter guards and Shelby's defense. Remember last year, Brian, again, a different coach. Coach Loney had Shelby last year, but they played as good, actually the best pressure defense that we saw anybody play last year.
That's Paxton with his first shot of the game. It doesn't go, but an offensive rebound keeps the ball with Willard, and it is put back up and in by Cole Weiss. Quickly at the other end, a foul is going to be called as Aiden Sloan, the sophomore, commits the personal. Now, Galloway told me that he wants to do a lot of the same things that they did last year, especially with their tempo.
Right there is an example. After a made basket, get the ball down the court in a hurry. And, again, it's why we put down as one of the keys, protect the paint, getting back on defense on transition, and rebounding down here. They did a good job rebounding the first possession. They're going to have to get back probably better tonight than they've had to all season.
Isaiah Ramsey misses both free throws. An offensive rebound, though, put back up and in by Bruscotter, his first 2 of the night.
This is something we saw Shelby do all last year also, was the full court pressure. So, I think that's a great move by Coach Galloway. I mean, hey, it worked last year. These kids bought into it. Why change?
Holloway has his shot blocked.
Nice cut.
Nice cut inside, but a missed layup by Bruscotter. But Willard now with another opportunity. We're tied at 2, 6:26 to go in the opening quarter.
That's something that you're not going to see a lot of. Both teams this year have taken care of the basketball. They both average around 10, 11 turnovers a game, which for what we've seen has been outstanding. We've seen games where it's been in the 20s. Neither of these teams are probably going to get there. They handle the ball well.
Outside shot by Holloway doesn't go.
Outstanding box out by Willard.
That's Max Dawson, the sophomore. Three in the air, doesn't go. Rebound into the hands of Jeremy Holloway. Bruscotter goes to the basket, is fouled, and he'll go to the line.
And that was a nice, strong one-on-one move, getting to the paint, using his body, protecting the basketball, drawing the foul, and giving him a chance to make the basket.
The sophomore misses the first free throw. He's a 76% free throw shooter on the team. He is one of 3 of their starters that shoots at least 76% from the line.
72% for a team, and that's much better than any teams we've seen this year. We've seen a lot of, I would have to say, not real good free throw shooting, even by good teams.
Well, and Willard is one of those teams. They're shooting 53% from the line as the ball is thrown out of bounds. Dawson, the sophomore, leads Willard with 76% shooting from the line, and everyone else is right around 50%. Holloway in the lane.
Nice, strong move. Good defense by Willard.
Dawson with a strong take to the basket. It's blocked out of bounds by Shepard. Of course, Marshall Shepard, a lot of success on the football team. All-Ohio quarterback for the Whippets. And a nice defensive play by Shelby as they force a violation, and they will get the ball up by 1. Low-scoring affair here in the first quarter.
That's 3 turnovers. That's right after I said neither team is going to have a lot of turnovers. And Willard does a good job of handling the basketball. First turnover right there from Shelby, an offensive foul. With Willard with the basketball, you're going to see Willard do a lot of different things down here in the half court trying to get those guards open. Everybody knows who they have to stop when they play Willard. So these guys are going to do a lot of different, whether it's flare screens, whether it's coming off a double, whether it's running the baseline, coming off a couple of screens. A lot of different things trying to get those guards open.
Paxton attacks the basket, draws the foul. Fouls on Marshall Shepard. That's his first. Paxton, a 55% free throw shooter. Averages 18 points a game.
Just think what his average would be if he was up around 70% from the free throw line.
Jump ball, the possession arrow will go to the Crimson Flashes. And they're going to call a foul on Shelby. That'll be on Holloway, and that's his second.
Well, you look back to one of the tight games that Shelby had, that was at Lexington. They had some foul trouble that game. Now, they were able to force Lex into some foul trouble also, but Shelby had some early foul trouble and had to play their bench probably more and earlier than what Coach Galloway wanted.
Paxton on a backdoor cut, and the ball is blocked.
Blocked by a guard. I think, was that Andre Hill who got that one, or Isaiah Ramsey?
That would have been Ramsey, and Hill attacks the basket and draws the contact.
Now, did you have Shelby this year in football? They had some pretty good athletes.
And then one of them is standing there at the free throw line,
Right.
Andre Hill, an outstanding defensive back and wide receiver. His role a little bit different this year than last year. Last year he was more of a defensive stopper. This year doing a little bit more offensively. And his offensive numbers have improved, averaging about 13 points a game. He makes both free throws.
Well, he certainly has the ball in his hands a lot more. Last year, of course, Jason Pugh was such a dynamic player that he had the ball in his hands most of the time because he could break defenses down and score or find the open shooter.
Three in the air by Trey Paxton. Try to go inside to Ramsey, and having an outside shooter with the name Trey.
Well, I think Paxton. I think back to the Paxton brothers from Dayton, Ohio that had
Jim
great,
Paxton, John Paxton.
Exactly. John, of course, playing in Notre Dame, but then had the great career with Michael Jordan in Chicago. I think everybody had a pretty good career with Michael Jordan.
Yeah, he made a lot of people.
Yeah,
Made Steve
yeah.
Kerr look good. And
Yeah, exactly.
may have built him into a Hall of Fame coach. Timeout taken on the floor with 3:22 to go in the first quarter. Brian Harder, Greg Collins from Robert Haas Gymnasium. 6-5 is the score. Willard on top. And we talked about Bob Haas, and that is who this gym is named after. Now, Bob Haas is one of the, to me, he's one of the legendary coaches when you think about basketball in North Central Ohio.
I'd add the state, but yes.
Led the Crimson Flashes from 1971 to 1992, 441 wins and only 74 losses.
That's
so
amazing.
he is at the top of the list as you take a look at the career leaders. Joe Bedingfield is fourth with 73 wins. In fact, he could finish the season third if he gets 12 more wins. He would actually tie Herb Hart.
And how old will he be to pass Bob Haas?
He's going to be here for a little while longer to catch Bob Haas. Foul in transition as Cole Weiss commits the personal.
Well, I can tell you, Brian, that when I took the Lexington job, I just wanted a head coaching job. And when I accepted the Lexington basketball job, got the schedule for the following year, I saw Mansfield Sr., who was coming off a Final Four appearance, Willard, who was coming off a Final Four appearance. I was wondering why these guys didn't tell me that during the interview process.
We're going to test you early and see if we got the right guy.
Yeah. They didn't tell me who we were playing until after I signed.
Shepard splits the pair. Obviously, a lot of success. 3 Final Four appearances for Bob Haas. The thing that eluded him was that state championship.
And there's one game down in Columbus I'll never forget because they were playing Dayton Roth with a basketball player named Keith Byers. And you all remember Keith Byers as a running back for Ohio State. This guy in a basketball uniform was a stud, a big human being.
Foul off the ball by Max Hess. That's his first personal. Now, I understand, though, back in the day, Byers was actually a pretty good high school basketball player.
He was a good player, and the team was a good. They might have won the state that year. I forget. But he looked ready to play college football that day and as a senior in high school playing basketball.
Prescutter at the line, the sophomore with 3 points. Boy, talk about potential that this young fella has. As a sophomore, averaging 20 points a game, leading the conference in scoring.
Again, he doesn't take a lot of threes. He's shooting in the low 30% range from three-point range. So he is a capable shooter, but he's so much better at getting the ball to the basket, as we've seen some dribble penetration tonight from him. And he does, we saw last year, a little mid-range shooting, which we don't see a lot of, again, in basketball.
Nice shot fake. And a strong move inside by Cam Robinson, and a foul. Foul will be called on Marshall Shepard. That's his second. So Shepard with 2 and Jeremy Holloway with 2.
Well, Greg Galloway made the comment that he had to defend the perimeter shot. Well, because he's out there trying to defend the perimeter shot, Willard is doing an outstanding job of getting the ball to the basket, making that extra pass as that situation hurt, and going to the free throw line.
Robinson gets them both, and Willard back on top by 1. Steal, and here comes Holloway back into the ball game.
Now we see Willard in the half court, and again, I think we're going to see different ways, whether it's flares, doubles, something to get these guards some looks from the outside. Looks like some ball screening action coming up right here.
Dawson has yet to score. Tried to rectify that. An offensive rebound on the backside by Carson Weirs. And the foul on Andre Hill. That's his first. Weirs, a 6'2 junior.
Great job working to get position for the offensive rebound. And a great job by Dawson there. I mean, he couldn't get the perimeter shot off. Shelby, again, with a lot of pressure on the basketball. But he settles for a mid-range shot, which I'm sure he can knock down.
First 2 free throw attempts of the season for Weirs. He splits the pair, and Willard on top by 2. Three in the air doesn't go. Backside rebound by Cole Weiss. Talk about Hall of Fame coaches. We have another one in the stands sitting right in front of us, Joe Baylog. And we will try to get him up here at halftime. And I had to laugh. I asked him if he wanted to come up talk to us at halftime, and he kind of chuckled. He goes, well, I don't know what words of wisdom I would have to offer. Off-balance shot by Paxton doesn't fall. And here come the Whippets in transition. Andre Hill. Ball batted out of bounds. It will stay with Shelby. And I have to say, it might be the most relaxed I've ever seen Joe Baylog on a Friday night.
You're going to have to ask him if he's gone to any Ontario games. And if he has, what's it like?
And if he sits behind the bench.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I tell you what, I would make an argument that we might have timeout taken by the Whippets, 56 seconds to go in the first quarter, and the Crimson Flashes up by 2. And I would make an argument. I'm gonna inflate your ego here.
Oh, there you go.
We might have 3 of the best coaches to ever coach in North Central Ohio in this gymnasium right now, between Bob Haas, Joe Baylog, and my partner.
Well, I tell you, I'll to be included with those 2 guys. That's a tremendous compliment. But there obviously have been some great ones. In this area. It's been a basketball area. And, hey, when you have a Willard that is so successful under Bob Haas, so many other programs are trying to emulate that. And that's everybody was chasing for so many years.
Well, and that's really been the struggle for Willard ever since. Greg Nossman is the second on that list with 173 wins. He's the only Willard coach to go above 100 wins other than Bob Haas.
Well,
he's kind of a tough act to follow.
Well, he is. And I don't think Greg had to follow directly after him.
No.
You want to be, but there's a good screen to get him open for a shot. Dawson knocks down the three.
First three-pointer of the night for Dawson, and it pushes the Willard lead up to 5.
And talking about Greg Nossman, he's still having success down at Olentangy Liberty. Still doing a tremendous job.
But since Bob Haas left, they have yet to find that guy to really sustain things over a long period of time, and I think Joe Bedingfield might be that guy if he sticks around.
And he's got a great staff. I mean, Hirsch, that's his assistant coach, is a former head coach here and just a basketball junkie. And, you know, if you have a great staff, that really helps. And obviously it's a basketball-hungry community.
3 in the air and a whistle, and that means 3 free throws for Trey Paxton.
And he came baseline off a screen, got a little bit of room, and by the time he got his feet set ready to shoot, Shelby was just running at him, and thus the foul.
Well, and that's been the struggle for these Crimson Flashes. Paxton, a 55% free throw shooter on the season, and so far tonight he's 1 for 3.
Seldom do you see a guy that you have to put a hand in his face from the 3 that struggles from the free throw line. But we've seen a few tonight.
Well, and we've seen that really a lot this season in some teams that they have what you would consider to be good shooters.
Right.
But then they struggle from the line. You look at their form and everything else as the final shot goes up. Willard with a 13-7 lead as we head to the second quarter. You're watching boys high school basketball live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Kasasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, you just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Kasasa.
Hi, I'm Dr. Chris Ebert. This is my son, Dr. Cam Ebert. We are Ebert Dental Group in Willard, Ohio.
Here at Ebert Dental Group, we offer a wide variety of services. Restorative dentistry, dental implants, root canal therapy, Invisalign, teeth whitening, cosmetic dentistry, denturals and partial dentures, Botox, and much, much more.
We're currently accepting new patients, and we would love to see you here at Ebert Dental Group.
Willard with a 13-7 lead as we get ready to start the second quarter. Excuse me, Trey Paxton with 5 points in the first quarter. The sophomore Max Dawson with 3. And that has been the strength of this team all season long. A rather low-scoring affair so far in the first half.
And Willard doing a good job defensively of getting back and limiting easy points. Here's a nice set from the timeout, and, you know, Bruckstotter just knocks down a nice 3.
He leads all scorers with 7. Little runner across the lane. Paxton misfires, and here comes Shelby in transition. 3 in the air again by Bruckstotter, and now he's starting to feel it from the outside.
Well, after I said he was, not shooting it well this year, you would think the guy would prove me wrong.
I think they've got a speaker down on the bench.
Well, I'm just trying to challenge him. He said challenge accepted.
Another 3 in the air, and now all of a sudden coming out of the second quarter, both teams firing from the outside. 3 threes to start the second period, 2 of them by Shelby.
And Paxton doing, again, a good job coming off the ball, or coming off and off the ball screen.
Ball blocked out of bounds by Cole Weiss. And it will stay with Shelby. Says enough of this offense, let's show off some defense.
Nice play.
Willard with a chance now to build on a 3-point lead. As I say, a shot fake was a little too good. It was a traveling violation. So the ball will go back to Shelby, down by 3. 6:48 to go, second quarter.
And again, after I said before the game that both teams take care of the ball extremely well, don't expect a lot of turnovers, well, I don't think either coach is happy with the turnovers they've had so far tonight.
Andre Hill with an off-balance shot that doesn't go. It's knocked out of bounds. It will go to Willard.
Off balance because it was outstanding defense. Great defense, not letting him get to the basket, making him put up a poor shot.
Well, you talked about Willard having to defend the paint, and they have done a very good job of that here in the first quarter plus.
They have. And again, just the 2 threes this quarter by Alex is what's kept Shelby in this.
Dawson picked up by Bruscotter, takes him inside.
See, Shelby wants to run, but Willard's doing a good job of getting back. Ooh.
Oh, that might be an offensive foul. Well, that's on Jeremy Holloway, and that's his third. So he leaves the game with no points and 3 fouls. Skip pass that almost went into the lap of Bob Haas.
You can see on our screen it shows a lot of the half court. And watch what Willard's doing off the ball. There he is, a nice basket cut. They have to do some things off the ball to get those guards some good looks.
Backside rebound by Ramsey, but a steal. Well, it took an offensive rebound, but the putback put up and in by Cam Robinson. Robinson now with 4, and the lead is up to 5. And Bruscotter has it stripped away. Paxton for 3. And a foul on the rebound. That's going to be committed on Isaac Robinson. That'll be his first.
And this is where Willard wants Shelby, in the half court. Not in transition, but in the half court. Looks like they're going a little zone now. Good
Bruscotter
rebound.
misfires from outside. So they're trying to stretch the Willard defense. Dawson being guarded by Marshall Shepard. And Dawson gets to the lane, gets to the line, and he'll look for the 3-point play.
I don't know if they called for an isolation, but they cleared out the right side for a left-handed player, and he just went one-on-one and took the ball inside to get a 3-point attempt.
Well, Shepard now with 3, Holloway with 3. So Greg Galloway has got he's got some decisions to make here.
Yeah, down 7, 2 guys with 3 fouls, but you have to sit those guys right now. You're not gonna lose the game. Well, I guess you could, but you doubt you're going to lose a game in the second quarter.
Andre Hill from the free throw line.
Nice pull-up jump shot.
Hill now with 4. And Shelby pulls it within 5.
Now, if you're Shelby, you want to create some turnovers. You want to get some transition, get some numbers, try to get some easy points. You got a couple of good scores that are sitting down.
Skip pass, batted out of bounds. It will stay. Well,
that's a tough pass. Tough pass to make against a team like Shelby.
Going to stay with the Crimson Flashes.
9 fouls on Shelby, so I think it would be wise if Willard continues to look to take the ball strong to the basket. There we go. Nice move.
Carson Weirs now with 3. Andre Hill thought about the long-distance jumper. They go inside instead. And Bruscotter now starting to heat up a little bit. He's got 12.
Yeah, that was just a nice post up inside. He knew he had a little size advantage and used his strength inside to get the ball to the basket.
Dawson from the elbow.
Nice pull-up jumper. Again, I've talked about the lack of mid-range shooters in basketball. Well, Willard's had a couple tonight.
And Dawson with the steal and the foul. He'll go to the line and look for 3. Fouls called on Max Hess. That's his second. And Dawson shows he can do it at both ends of the floor, and he can finish as well. Timeout taken by Shelby. 2:54 to go in the second quarter. And that was a nice play by Dawson at both ends.
It was, and he's left-handed, I know, but he does a good job of protecting the ball with his body, draws the foul, and lays it in.
Dawson, one of 3 sophomores in this starting lineup, and you know with young players you're going to take your lumps, but it looks like the upside, especially for a kid like Dawson, who doesn't rely on the perimeter jumper, he has shown he can penetrate and go to the basket.
Yeah, he's been very aggressive tonight, and he's also pulled up for mid-range shot, but you're exactly right. You can tell that he's been well coached. You can tell he spent time in the gym. You can tell that he spends time in the summer when the coach isn't around working on his basketball game.
Here's a good look at the Shelby huddle. Greg Galloway in his first season as the head coach.
Again, you mentioned he came over from Ashland, who had an outstanding season last year. I think, did Ashland win the OCC or was it Worcester last year? I know they were right
Worcester.
there. Worcester, and Ashland was maybe second.
Said he brought some things over from what he did at Ashland, but he has wanted to really carry over what the players were comfortable with, and he feels he has the personnel to do that, especially with the transition and the pressure that he wants to apply.
Now, again, I've only seen less than a half of Shelby. I remember last year, though, Shelby did maybe a little bit more trapping. I haven't seen any trapping yet this year, but they are doing good pressure on the basketball. Looks like we're held up, a little blood on the court. They're being cautious and getting all that picked up. You would think that Bob Haas, who's sitting at midcourt, and the gym's named after him, you'd ask him to come mop that up, wouldn't you? Say, hey, Bob,
this is your gym.
Exactly. I mean, you're the host. Could you come clean up your kitchen? Not that I do it at my house, but
I tell you what, the stories that I bet Bob Haas can tell from his time here at Willard, and this was – I remember hearing rumors of when kids were born, if you had a little boy, they were given a little Willard basketball. They just really –
exactly.
This town was consumed with high school basketball, and they had year after year after year, they would make deep tournament runs.
Oh, they did. They did. And, even though he's from Mount Vernon, our producer, Adam, who we hate to say it, but we have a lot of respect for.
For Bob Haas or Adam?
For Adam. Adam and Bob. But Adam was quick to tell me, he said, well, hey, Bob Haas built this floor on blood, sweat, and tears. So
there's a little bit of it still seeping
up
out of the wood.
We've seen a lot of the sweat. So right now it's Adam 1, Brian Harder 0. I'm keeping score. And I don't know what the winner gets, but the winner buys dinner. How about that?
There we go.
And again, I say that because it's surprising to come from a guy from Mount Vernon. I mean, again, Yellow Jackets whose colors are orange and black. I just haven't figured it out yet.
I haven't figured that out yet either. They finally got knocked from the top of the OCC, Mount Vernon did, by Lexington.
Another missed free throw.
So Dawson unable to complete the three-point play.
Well, this zone has stopped some dribble penetration in itself. Their man did a good job, but the zone has also stopped it.
Dawson thought about the three. Dawson being guarded by Carson Brubaker.
You got two good guards on one side of the court, so why reverse it? Let's keep the ball. Well, okay, now the guards cut through.
Tough shot, off balance, doesn't go. A foul's going to be called on Bryson Baker.
Well, when you are playing against a team like Shelby, who plays a lot of man-to-man, a lot of pressure man-to-man, less help than what we're seeing Willard trying to give, you're going to have some one-on-one situations. Not always, though, in high school do you have players that can go one-on-one. Willard tonight has been aggressive, going one-on-one, using more dribbles than what you're normally taught, but using those dribbles to get to the hoop.
Prescotter follows his miss, puts it up in. He's fouled, and he'll go to the line.
Well, this quarter has showed the importance of that young man. He starts the quarter with a couple of long threes. Then he comes through and gets first he cuts and posts up and gets the ball and takes it strong. Now he gets an offensive putback. And he's only a sophomore.
That's the scary part.
That's what Greg Galloway likes the most.
Leads all scores with 15. Unfortunately, his team down by 7 and an offensive foul. I believe this one's going to go against Cam Robinson. That'll be his second.
Now, it looked like it was a ball screen up high. It looked like Shelby was trying to trap it, but the defender came out with a nice hard hedge, and maybe Willard just pushed off a little bit. Again, I didn't have a great view of it, but good defense. And
they called it on Isaac Robinson, so maybe it was a moving screen.
That could have been.
Three in the air by Brubaker, doesn't go. And Willard gets the basketball back. A minute and a half to go before halftime, and the Crimson flashes 27.
And here's
Shelby 20.
The show there, and I think you're right, Brian. I hate to say that also, but you're right there. That it looked like a football screen, and it was a good one. Knocked the guy down, but even playing at home, that's a foul.
Paxson can't get it to go. Leaner up and in.
Up and in on an up and under. Stepped under the defense and went up strong with the basketball.
Baker with his first two.
Shelby just hanging around this quarter.
Left-handed finish. Nice penetration by Max Dawson.
And he is left-handed, but he is so good at going to it left and using his body to protect the ball.
That's Cotter with the offensive rebound. Grabs another one. Now got 17, and he makes it a 5-point game. And Dawson scoops it with the left hand.
I think if you're Greg Galloway, I think you're going to remind your team at halftime, that young man is left-handed.
Yes.
We can't let him go left. He's just beating him up going to the left and getting to the basket.
Well, you're so used to guys being right-handed and used to forcing them to left.
Right.
Prescotter loses the handle. And they're going to call the travel, and it's going to go to Shelby. 2.5 seconds to go.
Now, what he called is once you get a loose basketball on the ground, you can't change your position, improve your position. You have to, wherever you grab it from, right that position to pass the ball out. And maybe they got him for trying to improve it too much.
Hill with a long three that doesn't go. And at the half, Shelby down by 7, 31-24. You're watching boys high school basketball live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Here we go now. Here we go now.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Kasasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, you just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Kasasa.
Hi, I'm Dr. Chris Ebert. This is my son, Dr. Cam Ebert. We are Ebert Dental Group in Willard, Ohio.
Here at Ebert Dental Group, we offer a wide variety of services. Restorative dentistry, dental implants, root canal therapy, Invisalign, teeth whitening, cosmetic dentistry, dentures and partial dentures, Botox, and much, much more.
We're currently accepting new patients, and we would love to see you here at Ebert Dental Group.
And where? What do you say? The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware. It is halftime here at the Robert Haas Gymnasium, and the Crimson Flashes with a 31-24 lead at the intermission over the Shelby Whippets, and we are joined by a special guest, Joe Baylog. We saw him roaming around before the game, and obviously his first season in retirement. It seems like yesterday I was interviewing you out in the cage out at the old high school, and now you're retired. And First of all, 598 career wins, and we were there that last game over at Ashland. What really led you to say this was it and you were done?
I had a good friend, Dave Fralick, retired a couple years ago from Van Wert, and I just asked Fro, I said, how do you know? He said, you just know, and it just felt like it was the right time. We had a great group of seniors that were a lot of fun to coach, and the COVID stuff kind of was an effect a little bit, but as you got later in your career, you knew there was time was going to come that you just needed to make that decision. So it just felt like the right decision to make, and it's been good. It's been good so far. I missed some of it, but haven't missed a lot of it. They're kind of starting to get out to see some games now of guys that I know, and that's what tonight is Dave Hershey and Joe Bedingfield are really good friends, and knew this was going to be a good game, so get a chance to get out and see it.
Now, the 598 career wins, obviously 2 shy from 600. Did that factor into your mind at all about sticking around just to get to that milestone?
No, not really. 598, it would have been great to get to 600, but 598's just a number when you look back at it. It's, it's the relationships that you had with your players over the years that makes the difference. And, I didn't want to come back selfishly to just win 2 games. My heart had to be in it, and I just it just didn't feel like my heart was in it, to come back for another year and, do all the things you have to do in the spring and summer. Felt like it was just time to kind of sit back and get out of it and see what else there was on a Friday and Saturday night.
So what have you discovered on Fridays and Saturday nights?
Well, I haven't been out a lot with basketball. It was kind of funny. I had a couple former players the first Friday night. They called me and said, hey, we're at BW3s if you want to stop up. So I stopped up. I said, heck, this is the first time in 40 years I haven't been in a gym on a Friday night. So it was a different feeling. So it's kind of nice to have some free time on weekends, because I don't think the normal fan understands the amount of time that coaches put in. Many times their Sundays are spent, 7 or 8 hours of breaking down film from the week before and then preparing for the week ahead. And that was something I always really enjoyed, but also you kind of find out that, there's other things that you need to be doing with your life.
So do you have any plans on going to an Ontario game, or are you going to step back and just –
I've been to one. It was the one against Galleon. I'll probably go to a few of them. But, right now just, trying to get an opportunity to see some fellow coaches, that you have a lot of respect for, maybe that you've played against or you're aware of. Just to see their teams play and kind of see how they do things.
Well, I made the comment to Greg, this was probably the most relaxed I've ever seen you on a Friday night, because if anyone ever watched you coached, let's just say you brought a certain amount of intensity to the sideline.
Yeah, I think I grew up, though, over the years. I think when I was a younger guy, I was a little bit more out of control, and I think as I got a little bit older, I was settled down a little bit, at least in appearance, but that's the other thing is, for whatever 40 years, there was always that little bit of a gut-wrench feeling anytime you played. I don't care who you were playing. It's kind of nice not to have that feeling on a Friday night that, you feel like you're about half sick before a game. So, it's been good.
So what part of the game do you miss the most?
Probably just I miss relationships with the coaches, kind of the weekly just the weekly talk to different coaches, when you're trying to prepare. Somebody's played a team that you're playing, you talk to them. You miss relationships with players because that's really what it's about, in the long run. But, it's been special, the relationships over the 30, some years we had in Ontario, players that I've been able to talk to and come back. You don't really talk about basketball. You talk about other things. You take a look at what they've done with their lives and how they're being successful, and they tell you a few things that, basketball had an influence on that. So that means a lot to me.
Well, congratulations on a great career. It was a lot of fun, the time that I was able to spend covering you over the years, and good luck in retirement.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Joe
Baylog, the former coach of the Ontario Warriors. We'll be back with more of our halftime show right after this. You're watching boys high school basketball on OH Report. Thanks, Joe.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Kasasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, you just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards, take back banking with Kasasa.
Hi, I'm Dr. Chris Ebert. This is my son, Dr. Cam Ebert. We are Ebert Dental Group in Willard, Ohio.
Here at Ebert Dental Group, we offer a wide variety of services. Restorative dentistry, dental implants, root canal therapy, Invisalign, teeth whitening, cosmetic dentistry, denturals and partial dentures, Botox, and much, much more.
We're currently accepting new patients, and we would love to see you here at Ebert Dental Group.
Willard High School, where the Crimson flashes as we get ready to start the third quarter with a 31-24 lead. And it was really nice getting to talk with Joe Baylog, and it's really nice to see him enjoying his retirement. I kind of get the sense that he doesn't have any regrets about his decision.
I wonder. I wasn't able to hear it, but how about on game nights? Did you miss that?
He didn't say that was what he missed. He said mostly what he missed was the relationship with the players and the coaches, and didn't mention anything at all about game night. Paxton launches a three, and Paxton picks up where he left off in the first half. Paxton with 8 points, now in double figures with 11.
Now, Shelby is a team that averages 58 points or 68 points a game, which for the teams that we've seen this year, that's quite a bit. But Willard has held them to 24 in the first half with outstanding defense.
Marshall Shepard with his first field goal of the night. He is on the floor with 3 personals. Jeremy Holloway on the floor with 3 personals. As the shot then blocked by Holloway. Hill pulls up from the elbow.
Nice pull-up jumper, but again, at the Willard end, Dawson able to get the ball to the basket with his left hand. Good help by Shelby, but you got to cut down penetration from the left. Good cut, good pass, nice strong move for Willard.
Pushes the lead back to 8.
Kind of reminds me of the beginning of the second quarter when we saw 3-3-3. Now we're seeing at least basket, basket, basket. It's always more fun when there's a lot of scoring, isn't it?
Yeah, when you have low-scoring basketball, even as a defensive coach, which, I could appreciate good defense, but
right.
And almost on cue, Andre Hill shoots a 3 that doesn't go.
Again, left-handed drive by Dawson. Nice.
Cam Robinson hits a 3. Ball batted around, and what? Foul is going to be called.
And I'm sure Shelby kids know that Dawson's left-handed. He's just doing such a good job of getting the basketball with his left hand and driving and drawing, and that time kicking to a shooter in the corner.
Goes off the foot of Alex Bruscutter, and it will come back to Willard.
Here's the foul going over the back. Again, I like to see the off-the-ball movement by Willard. They do such a good job off the ball of moving with a purpose.
Shelby will see if they can string together a run here in the third quarter. A drive by Holloway is no good, but he draws the contact. Foul on Sloan, that's his third.
And that's a great position to drive from the top because it's less chance of getting help side defense, especially with these teams playing without post players.
Holloway hits the first free throw. Dawson comes back into the lineup for Willard. And Holloway with his first 2 points of the night, and he pulls Shelby to within 9.
And with the view that we have on our screen, which I think is great, notice how I'd like you to see when Willard gets the basketball, how people off the ball, especially weak side, away from the ball, are moving, and they're moving with a purpose. Whether they're setting a flare screen, a down screen, they're moving with a purpose.
Andre Hill makes it a 7-point game. Nice cut inside to Dawson. Dawson now with 15.
You see Willard going back to their zone defense now.
Press cutter for 3. And the Whippets try to respond and run in transition.
And Willard doing a good job of getting back defensively in transition.
Andre Hill for 3.
Here comes a set play, and early in the first half they did a couple of sets where they looked for some backdoor cuts. Here they go flare with a ball screen.
Paxson for 3. And into the arms of Jeremy Holloway. 3 in the air by Shepard, doesn't go. So a lid on both baskets now, up ahead to Paxton. And it's batted around, and this should go to Shelby. Joe Bedingfield didn't like the call, but it looked like it went off of one of the Crimson Flashes. Officials are going to talk about it. I don't know if we have a replay of it, but well, the officials in the stands want Willard to get the ball. But Shelby is going to get it. And I think that's the right call. Isaiah Ramsey misfires from the baseline.
Willard's going to stay in that zone, I'm sure, until Shelby proves they can shoot the perimeter shot. They're getting some good looks. They're just not knocking them down.
I believe that's going to be whistled on Andre Hill, and that will be his third. So he has 3, and Jeremy Holloway has 3. Marshall Shepard also has 3. He's not on the floor. Paxton, nice look inside. And Carson Weirs could not finish. And Brustcutter, they're going to draw the contact.
Did they count it? No, on the ground. I think that was a correct call. But there you go. He's fouled on the ground, but a nice strong move to get to the ball to the paint. And again, you're struggling shooting from the perimeter. Somehow you got to get ball reversal. Somehow you got to get the ball to the paint. Good defense there.
Might have been partially blocked. Up ahead to Cam Robinson.
Did a great job of hesitating in the air with the basketball, not going straight up with it, letting the defense go by and then scoring. There's an outside shot. Bryson Baker, another sophomore, knocks down a much-needed, or was that Baker, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Baker.
Much-needed three for Shelby.
And at the other end, Cam Robinson answers. Robinson now with 14.
I thought that was a good move. I thought, again, traveling is pretty simple, really. It's when you pick your pivot foot up and put it back down on the ground again. But when you're playing on the road, maybe you don't get those calls as often. But this time Shelby gets it. And Bryson Baker scoring the last 4 points for Shelby, much needed off the bench.
He's got 6 on the night. And are they going to count it? So the shot doesn't count. And the lead stays at 45-36 Willard.
It looks like Shelby now is setting up into a zone pressure, a little 2-2-1. We'll see if they stick with it. If it is a 2-2-1, they're going to try to force the ball to the perimeter. And we have somebody being escorted out.
Some fans getting a little too into the ball game.
Is that a family member? Probably someone, probably one of Adam's.
Probably.
And their cheering section is cheering his name now. So I kind of think there might be some people thrown out this Monday night in Pittsburgh when the Browns go. They're Steelers.
Oh, there might be a few. Well, the officials have gotten their work here in the third quarter. Foul on Brustcutter, his first.
With a minute to go and an 11-point or a 9-point deficit, you know, Shelby would love to end this quarter with a basket. Hold Willard, get a basket. Well, not going to there.
Runner by Dawson doesn't go, but it stays with Willard.
And again, a 9-point quarter is not insurmountable, but in a low-scoring game, it's tough to overcome.
Robinson draws the double team, has to kick it out, and an over and back violation against Paxson. Think of a lot of good guards that have come through Willard over the years.
Oh, my gosh.
Jimmy Langhurst pops to mind.
He was outstanding.
Andre Hill. And an offensive rebound by Shepard. Off-balance shot falls by Brustcutter.
Back within 5.
He's got 19. Dawson answers at the other end for Willard.
I thought he shot a little bit early there, giving Shelby the last chance, but he does knock it down, so that's big.
Andre Hill for 3. And Andre Hill with a big jumper to end the third quarter. And he pulls Shelby to within 4, 47-43 Willard as we head to the fourth. You're watching boys high school basketball live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Kasasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, you just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Kasasa.
Hi, I'm Dr. Chris Ebert. This is my son, Dr. Cam Ebert. We are Ebert Dental Group in Willard, Ohio.
Here at Ebert Dental Group, we offer a wide variety of services. restorative dentistry, dental implants, root canal therapy, Invisalign, teeth whitening, cosmetic dentistry, dentures and partial dentures, Botox, and much, much more.
We're currently accepting new patients, and we would love to see you here at Ebert Dental Group.
Willard with a 4-point lead as we head to the final 8 minutes. Alex Bruscotter with 19 points. Andre Hill with a big third quarter. He now has 11 for the game, and he has pulled Shelby to within 4 as we start the final quarter.
And none bigger than that last 3. That gives your team a little momentum going into the fourth quarter, and then you get to start the quarter with the basketball. Willard had a lot of success with the zone there in the third. It looks like right now they're going with a little zone with a chaser. So it looks like a box and 1 right now.
Try to go inside, and a foul is going to be called on Aiden Sloan, and that's his 4th.
When you have somebody averaging 20 points a game like Alex Bruckstatter is, you're prone to get some box and 1. And what you're seeing is Willard is playing 4 people in a zone and 1 person face guarding Alex, trying to keep him from getting a good look. Nice out-of-bounds play. They ran that early in the game to get a basket.
Shepard now with 7, and it's a 2-point game. Dawson at the other end.
See which side of they're playing on Max Dawson, taking away that left.
Andre Hill pokes it out of bounds, and the Crimson Flashes will keep the basketball. Trey Paxton with a little shove to the back of Andre Hill, and I think the official is just giving him a warning. Did I mention these teams were rivals back in the NOL days? You can sense that intensity here in this non-conference matchup in 2021.
Now, both of them are having great seasons, and even though it's non-league, nobody wants to lose this.
Fans are into it. The players are into it.
Look which side Baker now. They've talked about this. Look, see which side of their Baker is playing. Defense, trying to keep that left hand away from him.
And Dawson
still takes it to his
top.
left, pulls up and shoots a short jumper.
Shepard pulls up. Shepard now with 9, and it's back to a 2-point ball game. And a timeout's going to be called by Joe Bedingfield and the Crimson Flashes. Brian Harder, Greg Collins from Robert Haas Gymnasium. We have got a good one. 49-47. Willard with a 2-point lead with 6:02 to go. Now, I mentioned in the open, let's see if you caught this, that Willard and Shelby were 2 of the 4 teams that were in the NOL from start to finish. Can you name the other 2 schools?
Bellevue?
Bellevue's 1.
Bellevue's 1, and I'm going to go with Norwalk.
Very good. You saw it on my notebook, didn't you?
No, well, I usually cheat, or I sit next to somebody who's really smart and have them take the test for me, but I'm sitting next to Adam, so I would not have him take the test.
So is that Greg Collins 1, Harder nothing?
Well, it's Collins 1, Adam 1, and yeah, you're still stuck at 0, and it's not golf, so it's not low score wins.
I don't know what I have to do. I guess if I would have stumped you.
Yeah. Now, 6:02 to the left, 2-point difference. You also talked in the pregame about the difference in free throw shooting, the percentages. Certainly, this favors Shelby if it's a tight game down the stretch teams going to the foul line.
close.
Not even close. You're right.
In the first half, Shelby was 6 of 11 from the line, kind of uncharacteristic for them, and Willard was 6 of 13. So we'll see if that is a factor as we head down the final 5.5 minutes to go. Andre Hill might have
in the pros, they would have blown the whistle
flop.
and maybe called for a flop right there.
Nice strong drive inside by Holloway, but it's denied. Paxton thought about the jumper.
Boy, they're taking away that left, aren't they, on Max now?
I think that was a point of emphasis at halftime, and there might have been some chalk thrown around in the locker room at halftime. The scouting report says force him right. I know most scouting reports say force left, but.
Yes. He's different, and he still goes left.
And he still scores.
Yes.
And there's an offensive foul. That's a big one on Cole Weiss. That's his third.
We're going to have replay of it, and just stuck his chest in there and got the call.
So Shelby with an opportunity to tie it up with a 2 or take the lead with a 3. Bruscutter may have gotten away with a walk, and an off-balance shot doesn't go, but Shepard with an offensive rebound ties it up.
Now, when you're playing a box and one or when you're playing zone, it's a little more difficult to box out. You don't have the responsibility of one man. You have an area. Right there, Shelby took advantage of an open area and got the offensive putback.
Shepard now in double figures with the 11. Backdoor cut. It goes out of bounds, but it goes off of Shelby.
Now with a little over 4 minutes to go and a tie game, Shelby this half only has 2 team fouls. So they can be aggressive. Yeah, there are, 3 players with 3? You don't want them to really get 4.
Dawson.
To his left.
Oh, I
Pull
tell you
up.
what, the
Jumper.
poise that this kid has as a sophomore. Leads all scores with 21. 3 in the air does not go by Shepard, but another offensive rebound. He can't get it to go, and a blocking foul is going to be called inside on Carson Weirs. That's his third. And the Willard faithful not happy.
Now in college and pro with a half circle underneath, that's a no-brainer. That's a defensive blocking call. In high school, there is no semicircle. So it doesn't matter if help side defense is there. If the defense is set, that time the referee said no, the defense was not set. But one thing that Willard has done great tonight is box out until the last 2 or 3 possessions.
Shepard, an 80% free throw shooter, misses the second one. Up ahead to Paxton. And Willard back up by 3. And a block by Dawson and out of bounds. Or are they going to call a foul as Bruscutter attacked the rim?
He was able to pick up the block shot and go up strong with it. You know, you talked about before the game, I think, block shots, but Willard, looking at their stats, they're certainly not what you would consider a shot-blocking team, but they've had a few tonight.
53-50, timeout on the floor, 3:28 to go. Bruscutter will go to the line. A 76% free throw shooter. He's got 19 points on the night, had a really explosive first half with 17. He's kind of cooled off a little bit. Maybe that box and one is starting to show some effect on him.
Well, they played some box and one. Now they're just going straight man, and yeah, they've done a pretty good job defending him, cutting down any dribble penetration. We noticed in the second quarter that he scored with a couple of threes. He also scored posting up. He scored with offensive putbacks. Here he's getting some offensive putbacks. My concern, if I'm Willard, is you have 8 team fouls. Shelby is a good free throw shooting team. Over 70%. I don't think we've seen anybody this year that shoots that well from the line. That's not a team you want to put on the line. And Willard right now with 8 team fouls. Conversely, Shelby only has 2 team fouls. So they can be aggressive in the last 3:28.
Bruscutter makes them both. He's now at 21, a point over his average, and he makes it a 1-point ball game.
You see how Willard is really spreading the court, and I think they're going to be content if they can get the ball to the basket. Good movement off the ball again, a lot of baseline runners.
Andre Hill is guarding Paxton, and Shepard is guarding Dawson, who goes to the left hand again.
They took away his left hand, but he did a great crossover between the legs and was able to get to his left. And you're right, big basket.
Dawson with 23, the lead is 3. Strong move inside, Bruscutter can't get it to drop. The Willard faithful want a foul. I think Joe Baylog might be asleep.
Again, it looks like Willard is, content with just getting the ball to the basket, trying to get layups, trying to get short jumpers, and especially from their 2 big scorers right now. Close to a 5 count.
And a foul inside, and that's going to be on Holloway. That's number 4 for the senior.
And Cam Robinson was close to getting a 5 count called on him, but I think he did the only thing he could do right there. Just put his head down, take it strong to the basket, and he was able to pick up the foul.
He's 3 of 4 from the line, make that 4 of 5. Makes it a 2-possession game. And he has explored every inch of those rims, but he made them both.
Well, they are home rims for him, so that's good.
Hill from the free throw line. Andre Hill just looks so smooth.
He has shot that tonight a few times, and you're right. When he goes up, it just looks like he has all the confidence in the world.
Hill now with 13. It's 57-54. Brian Harder, Greg Collins from Willard High School, and it has been as advertised going back to the glory days of the NOL when these 2 teams would go at it. Willard with 25 NOL championships. Shelby with 10. They had their moments. But as we talked about, thanks in large part to Robert L. Haas, Willard was the cream of the crop in the NOL for years. And Joe Bedingfield trying to get the Crimson Flashes back to that dominance that they once enjoyed in that league.
Well, I think back to last year. Of course, they had a great season. They lost, was it in the district, to the regionals?
They knocked off Colonel Crawford.
But the knocking off of Colonel Crawford, an undefeated Colonel Crawford, and, hey, they thumped them. That game just surprised me. Now, I did not have a chance to see Willard last year, but if you can beat Colonel Crawford, that's one thing. But to beat them like they did, that was a big, big W for them.
Well, they were 19-6. They won the Bay Division of the Sandusky Bay Conference, but that Crawford game 70-48 before they bowed out of the postseason, losing to Western Reserve by 1 in the district title game.
So you're telling me they beat one Sheldon and lost to another
Yep.
Sheldon? Yeah, it's tough to beat 2 Sheldons,
especially back to back.
Yeah, exactly. Shelby can be aggressive here. Again, a couple of guys that have some fouls, so those that don't have fouls, they have to know. Good drive, good no call by the officials.
Paxton with a strong drive to the basket, pushes the lead back to 5 as we approach a minute to go. And a misfire from long range, and now Willard with an opportunity here to wrap it up.
Now they can be very, very patient with the basketball. Again, Shelby, you only have 2 team fouls. Be aggressive. Go after the ball.
Well, and Marshall Shepard is going to get one of them. That's his 4th.
Now I see Greg Galloway making a substitution. I wouldn't doubt that it's a defense for offense. A couple of guys that have some fouls to give. Hey, get out there, be aggressive. Now, the thing is, you don't want to just give a foul. You want to be aggressive, and, hey, you might force a turnover. You might get a steal.
That's going to be called on Hess. That's his 3rd. He just came in for Holloway. Shepard is off the floor. He has 3. And Andre Hill has 3. He is on the floor for Shelby. And a quick foul by Max Hess, and now that's number 4 for Hess.
And number 6, so Willard will shoot next, and it looks like what Coach Galloway has decided. Hey, let's foul them, put them at the free throw line. They're not a strong free throw shooting team, so let's put them at the line and see if we can get some defensive rebounds and some runouts.
That was on Hill. That's his 4th. So the sophomore, Max Dawson, at the line. Now, if I didn't know any better, the PA guy sounds an awful lot like Brian Skoronsky. Or he watches the best of. Big free throw by the sophomore. Splits the pair, but it's still a 6-point game with 42 seconds to go. Holloway kicks it out, 3 in the air.
No.
And Paxton with a rebound, and that just may have wrapped it up. Trey Paxton, he better be careful. He might get himself thrown out of this ball game. Walking away, threw an elbow up into the air. .62 senior at the line. And he misses the free throw. 3 in the air by Shepard. And Bruscotter tried to get the offensive rebound and a foul. See who they're going to call this on. It's on Andre Hill, so he's done. Hill leaves with 13 points. He's at his average. So Max Hess comes back in. He's got 4 personals. And Cam Robinson, who is 5 of 6 from the line tonight.
But if you're Shelby, you can't get into your full court pressure unless you score. And they're just having a difficult time knocking down the threes. They're getting some good looks, good penetration and kick, just not able to knock them down.
Timeout taken by Willard with 22.5 seconds to go. Now they're up by 7. So what is Joe Bedingfield telling his team right now?
Get back and play half-court defense. That they're not putting anybody on the in the free throw area. They're having 4 guys back, so they're back just playing good defense. And I'm sure with a couple of shooters that have had success this season, they're saying get hands up on the ball, and probably, if you give up some dribble penetration right now, that's fine. Don't do too much helping. The only way Shelby's going to get back in this is if they can knock down a 3, call timeout, set up their pressure, get a steal or a foul, and Willard misses free throws.
Shelby looked like they were going to make a run there for a while. In fact, they made it very interesting here in the second half, but Willard just really with those two guards that we talked about have really been able to kind of cement this here in the fourth quarter. Paxton and Dawson having big games, especially Dawson with 24.
Well, coming in, we knew those two guys were pretty darn good players. I had not seen them yet, but after watching them, they are impressive. They play hard. They play good defense. They're obviously good shooters, maybe not from the foul line, but they also penetrate well.
Three in the air and good by Bryson Baker. That's his second three of the night. He makes it a 4-point game with 14.6 seconds to go. Not quite over yet.
No, it's not. Again, Willard is not a great free throw shooting team, but if you're Shelby, you've got to deny, look for the steal, but if Willard's able to get the ball inbounds, you got to foul. You got to foul. Now, the problem is you've got some guys with 4 team fouls. You know, they have to know, hey, we got to take one for the team. If they get it inbounds to my guy, I got to use my 5th foul.
Holloway's got 4. Hess has 4. Shepard has 4. Andre Hill is already fouled out.
It'll be interesting what Willard does here. Sometimes teams will send somebody deep, try to throw the home run ball. We saw a game, actually we didn't have it, but we saw a game this year where senior high with a lead late tried to throw a home run ball and it went out of bounds, and thus the other team, Mount Vernon, was able to take it out of bounds underneath, hit a 3 and win it. You got a little bit more luxury right now with a 4-point lead.
Ball inbounded to Dawson, and he is quickly fouled. Foul is going to be on Bryson Baker. That's his second.
Again, shooting the free throw obviously gives Willard a chance to add to their lead, but also gives a chance to get some players back and get set in the half-court defense.
Dawson, the team's best free throw shooter. And he makes them both.
Usually you jinx someone when you talk about that, but not him.
Russcutter off balance. Shot doesn't go. Offensive rebound. Fought for. It's not going to drop either, and that's going to do it. Foul on Isaiah Ramsey. That's only his first, and it will send Carson Weirs to the line. He's 1 for 2 tonight from the stripe. He's got 3 points.
This is a big W for Willard. Big win for them. Shelby is a quality basketball team. Big win for Willard at home here.
And he misses them both. That'll do it. The Willard Crimson Flashes with a 63-57 win over the Shelby Whippets. We'll be back to wrap it up after this. You've been watching boys high school basketball live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Here
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Kasasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, you just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Kasasa.
Hi, I'm Dr. Chris Ebert. This is my son, Dr. Cam Ebert. We are Ebert Dental Group in Willard, Ohio.
Here at Ebert Dental Group, we offer a wide variety of services. Restorative dentistry, dental implants, root canal therapy, Invisalign, teeth whitening, cosmetic dentistry, denturals and partial dentures, Botox, and much, much more.
We're currently accepting new patients, and we would love to see you here at Ebert Dental Group.
The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware. Time now for our Ebert's Dental Player of the Game, and this one was a no-brainer. Sophomore Max Dawson, 26 points, including some some big free throws in the second half. Just talk about, you could sense the emotion and the intensity. And this is a regular season game in December, but you're playing against the Shelby Whippets. Talk about what it was like in the environment tonight.
Well, we didn't get to play them last year, so it was just kind of, we've been waiting for this game. We've been practicing all week hard, just waiting on them. We just came really, really ready to play.
Now, for us old-timers, Shelby-Willard is a big rivalry that goes back to the NOL days. Did you guys sense that same kind of intensity as you get ready for these guys?
Yeah, for sure. We really sensed the rivalry. Like, it was time to go when we stepped on the floor.
Teams know when they play you that you and Trey are obviously the focal points of the offense, and things really kind of run through you. What was it like knowing that teams are going to try to take things away from you and what you want to do offensively?
Well, Coach always tells us to screen for each other, because when they're guarding us, me and Trey, we like to screen for each other, and that really gets us open.
What, as you guys head down the stretch, as you get ready to get to the middle point of the season, what goals did you guys set for this team at the beginning of the season?
We kind of take it every game as like step by step. Every game's a new challenge. We prepare for every game every week, and hopefully just take the next game as the next challenge.
Now, did you see the gentleman that was standing up here when you came up here? Obviously, you know who that is, right?
Yeah, Coach Haas.
What do players still talk about him and what he did for this program so many years ago?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm sure he remembers some of these rivalry games that he was in at one time, and I mean we call it the Haas because that's just what we know it as, and everybody knows Coach Haas. Everybody talks to Coach Haas. He comes in and watches practice and stuff, and it's really special.
Well, when you guys have performances like that, it really lives up to the standard that he set here. Congratulations on a nice win, and good luck in 2022.
Thank you.
Congratulations to our player of the game, sophomore Max Dawson. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back with more of our post-game show right after this. You're watching boys high school basketball live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Here we go now.
Here we go now. Here we go now.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Kasasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, it just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Kasasa.
Hi, I'm Dr. Chris Ebert. This is my son, Dr. Cam Ebert. We are Ebert Dental Group in Willard, Ohio.
Here at Ebert Dental Group, we offer a wide variety of services. Restorative dentistry, dental implants, root canal therapy, Invisalign, teeth whitening, cosmetic dentistry, denturals and partial dentures, Botox, and much, much more.
We're currently accepting new patients, and we would love to see you here at Ebert Dental Group.
There he is, the man of the hour here, Bob Haas, and he is still a big part of this program, and he was on hand to watch his Crimson Flashes get a big 63-57 win over their rival, the Shelby Whippets. And I don't know if you heard the interview that I did with Max Dawson, but he says they still feel that same rivalry and intensity that they had back in the glory days of the NOL. The players still look forward to playing Shelby.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, again, the two communities, the proximity would make for a natural rivalry. Then you include that both of them have a good basketball tradition, and both of them have been outstanding the last few years.
Now, as we take a look at the final numbers, actually Willard with 18 field goals, both teams hitting 5 threes. The rebounding similar, the foul similar, the turnover similar. This was a game, though, that just came down to hitting some big shots down the stretch, and the primetime players showed up.
Well, they did, and of course Max Dawson was outstanding. And you know, a statistic that I didn't give during the game is Shelby this season has shot more free throws than their opponents have attempted, which is one sign of a very, very good basketball team. You see Willard tonight only 12 of 24, but the key is they went to the line 24 attempts. They were aggressive getting the ball to the basket, and even though they only shot 50% from the free throw line, they were able to come out with a W.
I didn't realize how close this game was until you look at the final numbers. It's almost a mirror image of each other.
Well, you're right. And, 5 threes from each team tells you that, Shelby, you didn't lose the game because of threes attempted or threes shot by Willard. Willard, you didn't win the game by your threes or the threes that you gave up. You won the game by you had better looks at the basket. Again, especially Max Dawson driving left. You had better looks at the basket. You were more aggressive getting to the basket than Shelby was.
Max Dawson led all scorers with 26 points. Trey Paxton had 15. Bruscutter had 21 for Shelby. And Andre Hill and Marshall Shepard each in double figures. Hill with 13 and Marshall Shepard had 12. And a very good, entertaining game here tonight at Willard High School. With the win, Willard is now 6-2 overall, and Shelby drops to 7-2. The final score, Willard 63 and Shelby 57. Our thanks to tonight's broadcast team. Our producer was Adam Thompson, and the fine camera work courtesy of Garrett Parlay. Most of all, our thanks to you for joining us. Once again, the final score, Willard 63 and Shelby 57. You've been watching high school basketball live and free on the OH Report, powered by BS Media Productions, the future of local sports. For Greg Collins, I'm Brian Harder. So long from Willard.